Steve Passanelli. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Marketing for BombBomb, and I'm excited to bring to you a brand new webinar that we just created called the 10 Top Gmail and Chrome Extensions for Salespeople. And we're doing it on a new format here today. Usually we do our webinars through GoToWebinar, and you can't see the questions and the comments that other people are writing in. So we're trying a new format out called Webinar Jam. It seems to be pretty interesting. You guys are gonna be able to see the comments coming through. You're gonna be able to interact more. We welcome comments and questions, so feel free to type them in. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started with the webinar, though. One interesting part of this system is you guys are about 28 seconds behind me. So everything I'm saying now, you're hearing 28 seconds later. So if you ask a question or you type something in, just know that we're on a 28-second difference. It might take us some time. And I have my buddy Dale on the line here. He's going to be typing back the typed responses, and I'll try to take breaks throughout the webinar and go through and answer your questions as we go through the seminar. So most of the webinar today will be off of PowerPoint slides or live screen sharing. We won't do the video the entire time. You're going to want to see these extensions and see these tools. And I think we broke it down in a really interesting and unique format here. Let me share my screen and we'll get started. Oh, thanks, Colette. Thanks for interacting here. And again, everyone else, feel free to comment. And as we go throughout the webinar and we go through these 10 extensions, let me know which ones you like. Let me know which ones you've been using before, your thoughts, what you think might work best for you. I really want this to be engaging and interactive here. So let me start my screen share. And we will begin. Okay. So Gmail and Chrome extensions for salespeople. Now, notice I'm also mentioning Chrome here because some of these extensions work on the Chrome format. You need to have both Gmail and Chrome. And if you're using another browser, especially if you're using something like Internet Explorer, please go download Chrome. Chrome is, in my opinion, the best browser out there. Gmail is the best email system out there. Why? Because they allow you to add all of these cool things onto it to change the way that you communicate with people. And that's what we're going to focus on here today. Now, we're going over 10 extensions today, so it's a lot, right? And I get it. This is a little bit shiny object. What I do not want you to do throughout this webinar is download every single extension that we talk about. So what I tried to do here for this session is I tried to, rather than talk about 10 Gmail and Chrome extensions, what we're going to talk about are 10 problems that salespeople face in their business, and we're going to go over 10 solutions to those problems. So I want you to pick 2 or 3 problems. Hopefully, we address some of them. I tried to create a webinar that was going to address as many issues as I could think about that common salespeople have. So we're going to try to address those problems, and I want you to pick out 2 or 3, maybe 4 if we're pushing it here. And those are the extensions. Those are the tools that you're going to want to use. Don't download all 10. And one last plea, do not download them throughout this webinar. Because if you start going and downloading each one, this webinar is going to be extremely fast. We're going to go through these quickly, but I'm going to give you real reasons to use it. And you're going to want to see the slides and see some of the functionality. And we're going to go live sometimes too. So now that we have that out of the way, let's begin. What is the first problem that salespeople have? And I am guilty of this. I'm guilty of sin. Problem is we waste time. You get in the morning, maybe you're a realtor, or maybe you sell cars, or maybe you're selling skincare products. You get in the morning and you have all of these things that you have planned out that you want to do that day. You hop on the computer, you check your email, then a Facebook notification pops up, and now you're off track, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning and you got nothing done. So there's the problem. How many people on this webinar currently experience that problem? Does this happen to you? Well, I have the solution for you. And this is one of the newer extensions, to me at least, that I feel is absolutely amazing. And it's called Limitless. And what Limitless does for you is it tracks the amount of time you're spending on websites. And it breaks them down into categories and groups. So they're work websites or shopping websites. And it knows so thousands and thousands of websites. It knows what they are. and it tracks your time on each and every one of them. And every time you open up a new tab in your browser, it's going to give you a report of how you're spending your day. By the way, before I continue with this Limitless, this webinar is being recorded, so don't worry, it's being recorded and everyone's going to get the recording at the end, because as I mentioned, we're going to go fast. You're going to want these, and we'll send you all the information about all of the extensions too. So don't worry about that. We have you covered. So Limitless breaks down your activities, shows you what you're doing, shows you how much of your day is productive. And what's really cool is if you look on the right-hand side of the screen here, it didn't know what, I work for BombBomb, of course, and it didn't know what BombBomb was. So I typed in work. So it knew that that was a work activity, and now it's categorizing that as, as work. It's really neat. It'll tell you how much of your day you've been distracted, and it also allows you to set a goal, a yearly goal and a daily goal that pops up every single time you open up a new tab in your browser. And it also presents you with a pretty nice looking picture that will raise your spirits, as well as a little quote that I think is kind of a nice touch as well. So that was problem number one. Wasting time. We're fixing that by using Limitless. That was a really, really cool extension. Let's move on to problem number two. Problem number two is there's a lack of integration in tools. You have all these different systems. Heck, I'm showing you 10 systems here today, right? 10 totally different programs. But it seems like none of these programs work together, and we're moving towards that direction, of course. But I think this one might be able to help you. If obviously you're a Gmail user, that's why you're on this webinar, and you're probably using Google Calendar, but maybe you're also using Evernote, and maybe you're using Google Drive, or maybe you have Dropbox, which isn't tightly integrated into Gmail. Well, here's your solution, and it's called Augment. What Augment does is it provides a built-in Gmail solution for connecting other products to your email program. I figured this one's best. This one can be best explained by showing you live. So let me just pop out of the slides here a bit. Okay. And when we pop out of the slides, I'm going to go into my email live, which is always a little bit scary. Scary to go into your email live in front of an audience, but it seems like we're okay here. And what I want to show you is pretend I received an email. This email is really, it's just a reminder about a meeting in an office, but let's pretend this was an important email. What Augment is going to do for us is it allows me to link in a bunch of other programs. So I linked in my Evernote and my Google Calendar. And if I want to take this note, rather than remembering the Evernote email address and what to type in the subject line to file it away, this allows me to easily go in, select one of my notebooks here. So I can go in, I can choose a notebook, I can title my note, the email will be attached, I can set a reminder, I can tag it, and I don't have to remember all those special commands. So that's if you're an Evernote user. I understand that some of you might not be an Evernote user, but there's a bunch of other programs that you can connect to Gmail. Something as simple as your Google Calendar. Rather than clicking on the address in the email there and creating the appointment from there, where usually you need to add more information, you have to load another screen, you can do it all right here. Start time, end time, you can invite guests to that appointment without ever leaving this particular email. And that's just two examples, but that gives you an idea of how Augment works. And it works with a bunch of other programs, as I mentioned. So go check that out too. That's a pretty neat one if you're using a lot of different systems. All right. Number three, and I saw someone in the comments there. I can't see the comments as I'm presenting on the fly. I have to exit out to see it, but I saw someone was losing audio. And this is going to be recorded, as I mentioned before. So it should come across clear in the recording. But if you have any audio issues, it's usually a bandwidth problem on your end. I'm plugged in. I have a high-speed connection here, so we should be good from my end, in theory. All right, so problem number three, your leads want to remain anonymous. How many people on the webinar, and let me know, type it in in your industry, whether you're in real estate or you're selling insurance. When you receive an internet lead, do they only give you an email address? Are they filling out the complete form? Are you getting limited information? Well, this problem can be overcome with this solution, and it's called Vibe. This is a cool one too. Hopefully I have a lot of cool ones here for you for this webinar, but this one's really neat. What Vibe allows you to do is it does a reverse lookup, and it provides information about an email address or about a person. So you receive a brand new lead in your email inbox, you highlight that person's name, and on the side of the screen, they're going to do a reverse lookup, find their photo, their job, their title, what they do, links to their social media networks, topics that they like to talk about, and it's going to give you a complete description or profile of that person. I can actually show you this one live here too. If I pop out for a moment, well, you can see an example. So here's an email from Darren, the same one that we used last time. And you see this little section here on the right-hand side of the screen? That is Vibe, and it's free. So it tacks it onto the side of your Gmail. Now I have great information about Darren. And if Darren was a lead, I know how to follow up with him. But also, if he was a past client or someone I'm communicating with, I can click on his social media links, see what's going on in their personal lives. And it's much, much easier than going into Facebook and typing in their name and searching to them, because these are all live clickable links. So that one is called Vibe. All right, and I'm checking out some of the comments that are coming through here, and yeah, it seems like you guys are liking this so far. So that's great. Let's move on to the next one. We were on the third problem. What's the fourth problem that salespeople face in their day-to-day business? Here's the fourth problem. It's hard to drive traffic to your website. Everyone has a website these days. Everyone's looking for ways to drive traffic, free and paid. Here is a solution that will help you with this. Now, if you are not sharing content, if you're not going out there and posting content about whatever industry you're in, or if you're in real estate, like local real estate stats and statistics, if you're not posting that type of thing to Facebook and to Twitter, and you're not a curator, sharing information, then this isn't going to help you. So don't download this. However, though, how many of you listening to this webinar right now do like to share information? Type it into the chat box. Do you like to go out and share articles from other places? Because if you do, this is going to help you drive traffic back to your website. How will it do it? Well, what Snipple does, and I'll show you a live demo of this one too. So let's go back out here. I'm just going to go to a standard old website here. Let's go to MSN for this example. And I'm going to click on any old article here, something that's not as doom and gloom. Let's pick something that's a little bit brighter. But let's pretend that this article pertained to our business, and we want to share it on Facebook or Twitter. What I can do is scroll up to the top of the screen. I click my Snipple Chrome. This is a Chrome extension. Click my Snipple Chrome extension. And what it does is it gives me, if I hit create, it's going to give me a new URL. And look what's happening down here. And let me make this a little bit bigger here for you. There. Hopefully you can see that. Well, it's skipping my call to action. But hopefully you can see this on the lower left-hand side of the screen. I'm taking this article from MSN. I'm hitting create. It's giving me a new link, and it's adding a link back to my website. So for example, in our case, we're BombBomb. We like to share video creation ideas and methods and how to communicate over video. So what's neat about this here is if I find a great article that pertains to video, I can share that even though it's on Mashable. But when people are reading that article, my call to action will always be down there on the bottom of the page, and they'll be able to click it, and it drives that traffic back to our website. Here is something that we use all the time, and it's great, and it does drive traffic. So you can share that content. It adds a call to action on that MSN page or that Mashable page, and it drives the traffic back to you. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Yes, see a lot of people saying yes, and Colette and Fred and Melanie. Oh, and that's a good question there, Melanie. Let me address that. Let me address that here while I bring up the slides again. Does Vibe provide what Reportive does? Reportive used to be amazing. I used to love Reportive. And then LinkedIn bought Reportive, and then all of a sudden now it's terrible because it doesn't provide the same wealth of data and information. So Vibe is my replacement for Reportive. It's my replacement for Reportive. So I highly recommend it over Reportive. And what I noticed with Vibe is it plays friendly with a lot of other extensions. I don't know how many people on this call start downloading a lot of extensions, or you have a lot of them, and then they start interfering with one another. Vibe seems to play very well with other extensions out there. All right, so we're halfway through the webinar just about, and we're on number 5. Here's problem number 5. You are being tracked. When people send you emails, maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's maybe it's a client. Maybe they sent you an email and they're using a program that's tracking open rates. So they know when you open that email. And then you don't have time to respond, but they're mad because you opened that email 6 hours ago and you never got back to them. There's the problem, right? Everyone's tracking emails that they're sending. The solution to this problem is awesome. And let me know what you think of this, guys. And let me know if you heard of this one. What extensions have you not heard of yet? Type it in, let me know. So this is called Ugly Email. And Ugly Email will find the emails that are being tracked, and it puts this little eye. You see this here on the screen? It puts this little eye next to your emails in the inbox. And when it puts that eye there, that means if you open that, that person's going to be notified that you open that email. So if you know you can't get to someone and you see that eye there, just don't click on that email, and it's going to save you some harassment. Oh, I didn't get it yet. I was so busy today. So that's an easy one. This is probably something that everyone wants to install. And here's what's interesting. It tracks from most programs like Streak and Yesware and MailChimp and Sidekick, and it tells you what program that they're using to track it. But I have some good news. I know we have a lot of people on the webinar that are BombBomb customers. And guess what? It doesn't track BombBomb. Boom. So even if your clients, even if other salespeople or other realtors out there are using this, it right now, as of today, it does not pick up on BombBomb emails, which is kind of exciting. All right. So let me know. Have you heard of Ugly Email? Let me know in the chat. Number 6. Problem number 6. We all make mistakes. And we can fix that. How many times have you sent out an email and literally a half a second after you hit the send button, then you're like, shoot, I didn't mean to send that, or it's the wrong person, or I forgot to do this. Well, here's your solution. Google Labs. So you have to add this on to your Gmail account to get this. And you know what? I have a little link here that I want to share with everyone. So let me just copy that. Oh, a lot of you never heard of Ugly Email. So that's awesome. I'm going to paste this link in. And make sure you have that link, because if you didn't install Google Labs into your Gmail, you're going to want to do this for our next 2 extensions, because they require you to have Google Labs. And that is pretty slick, isn't it, Michael? It's definitely a neat little application there. So, okay. Let's go back to the slides and let me tell you what this does. How do we fix our problem? Well, once you have Google Labs and you go in, you follow those instructions from the link I just gave you there. You go in, you install Unsend. It's called Unsend. And I'll give you a list of all of these at the end. So don't worry about that, and you'll get an email follow-up too. But what Unsend allows you to do is it gives you a small buffer. Now, you can't pull back an email that you sent an hour ago. It doesn't work like that. But you have about 7 or 8 seconds or so, somewhere around there, when you hit the send button to pull it right on back. And so usually it happens fairly quickly after you send an email that you realize that you made a mistake, or maybe you were just a little too hot-headed and you want to rescind that. You can do that. It's called Unsend, and you get it through Google Labs from that extension that I gave you. Number 7. Problem is you hate wasting time and you hate typing. And the problem is that email is hard, right? Email is a hard communication platform. Why? Because you're communicating over text. We've communicated one way our entire lives, right? Face to face. From the moment you're born, you communicate face to face with people. And then now you get into the business world and you're just communicating over email and text. And the messenger is removed from the message. So email's hard. Typing is difficult. Let me offer you a solution. Canned responses. This is another one from Google Labs. So you have to download that Labs into your Gmail account. And what this allows you to do for free, this is a free one, just like Unsend was a free one. Actually, I missed some of those. So Unsend is free, Vibe is free. This one's free, Canned responses. Most of them are free that we went over. Some have a premium platform. I'm on all the free ones here for the ones that I mentioned so far. So Canned responses are free. What it allows you to do is have a list of pre-written responses. So if you're following up with your leads and you're typing the same thing over and over again, if you answer the same question over and over again in email, you can build out a list of responses that you can quickly and easily access. And for those of you that have BombBomb that are on the call, this works great with the BombBomb video email in Gmail too. They work great together. So you can pop in text, then you pop in your video, and you are good to go. So canned responses will save you a massive amount of time, and it's free. Cool, right? Okay. Problem number 8. We're still at email is hard, because email is hard. Why? Because you have to type it out. And we went to school, probably most of you on this call today, just like myself, went to school a very, 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 very long time ago. So how do we fix this? This is one of my favorite extensions of the day, and it's called Grammarly. When I went to school 20 years ago, I was a terrible writer. So I was terrible 20 years ago when I was practicing writing. I'm even worse now. And what Grammarly helps me do is not sound like a total idiot in front of my clients. Because when I type something out, it not only does a spell check in my Gmail account, but it does it across Facebook, across Twitter. If you're a BombBomb user, it does it in your BombBomb video email program. It's a spell check and it's a grammar check, and it will give you suggestions. Now, this one is a free and a paid version. The free version checks for some things. The paid version checks for everything. That's how they do it. But even the free version is absolutely amazing. So this allows you to go in and fix your writing, and it will give recommendations, and it's pretty spot on most of the time. Has helped me immensely. So we're kind of on this this tip here, this email is hard tip, which it really is. So let's continue that with problem number 9. Communicating over email can be difficult and time consuming. So what if there was a way, for you to communicate clearly, build rapport in your emails, build rapport and trust, save time when communicating over email, sort of like the canned responses that we talked about, and start building and enhancing relationships over email. And I know what you're thinking right now. Steve, you're not talking about email. That's impossible to do over email. And that's not true. Email can do that if you are humanizing it and using it in a different manner. The 9th problem that we're going to overcome is communicating over email can be difficult, and the solution is our brand new, just released BombBomb video email extension. See the left-hand side of my Gmail screen there? Right above the compose button, there's a send video. So imagine someone sends you an email, and I'm sure everyone has been in this situation where someone sent you an email, it required a lengthy response, you typed up 2 paragraphs, and you're like, that sounds terrible. You delete the paragraph, and you thought to yourself, if I was there in person, I could have explained this in 1 minute. But it's hard to type that out. Or maybe someone sends an emotionally charged email, and you want to diffuse them. Or maybe you receive a lead, and that lead, probably went to other people. A lot of times our leads will go out to other people, and you want to find a way to stand out. This is your solution. You click the send video button built right into Gmail. If you download the BombBomb extension, it turns on your video camera. And now when that lead comes into your email inbox, you could say, hey, Bill, it's Steve. I wanted to put a face to the name and introduce myself. I'm a real person, and I'm going to be handling da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You go right down through your pitch, but now they can see you, they can hear you. It humanizes you, because you know what? It's hard to say no to a smiling face. It's easy to say no to text on the screen. And think about that. It's hard to say no to a smiling face. Easy to say no to text on the screen. So when you record that video, 3 steps. We just invented the best way to send out short form video messages over email, period. 3 steps. That email is built into the email now. They can see your face as soon as they open that email. It's not an attachment. They don't have to download it. And it's a great way to communicate. And as I mentioned before, when we talked about ugly email, this is also being tracked. So you can do this without leaving your email program. It's tracking opens, and it's tracking video plays. So now you have another metric to go off of, and you know when to follow up. When they're watching your video, they're in the right mode. That's when you want to make that phone call or follow up with a second email. So this is the way it looks. It's simple. It's easy. It's going to save you time and allow you to communicate more effectively. And the other cool part is you get push notifications. So the second someone opens it and plays it, these push notifications come right across your screen. Of course, you can turn those off if you would like as well. So we want to do something special before we get into the 10th and the final Gmail and Chrome extension. We wanted to offer a special for everyone. You can sign up for BombBomb for free for 14 days, and you're going to get a one-on-one call where someone's going to set up the system for you, go through it, make sure you're using it correctly. They'll ask you a couple questions about your business, and they'll get you moving, making sure that you are sending out video emails that are powerful. So we're going to pop that up on the screen here, and you should be able to see that in a moment. We're going to bring this up, and this is your opportunity to get that personalized coaching session. And you should be able to see that now. So we'll let that go. Okay. So the final extension that we want to talk about here before we wind this up and we do a recap of everything and I answer your questions. This one's a little bit interesting because the final problem that we're going to address is it's hard to know how to communicate with people if you can't see them. So if you can't see them, you don't know who they are, you haven't spoken with them in person before, there is a solution to this. And of course, BombBomb helps you be there in person when you can't be there in person. But here's a shiny object, and I'm going to admit that this one's a shiny object. It's called Crystal Nose. This one's super creepy. This is why I kept it for the last. Because I don't really know if it's going to help your business, but I've been messing around with it and it's pretty interesting. But I think everyone on this webinar is going to be interested in hearing what this does. So Crystal Nose builds out a profile like that Vibe program that I was telling you about earlier, builds out a profile. But instead of just showing you the profile, it actually acts upon that information. And it starts giving you details on how to communicate with that person based off of who they are. So you can see two different examples on my screen, both asking for coffee, but written in two different ways based off of what Crystal Knows tells you. So here's what happens. When you install this extension, it'll pop up profiles on your screen, sort of like that Vibe program, but then it will say, when speaking to Matt, do this. When sending him an email, do this. When selling or working with Matt, speak in this manner or in this fashion. And it actually gives you tips and ideas on how to communicate. Now, again, do I think that this is going to revolutionize your business? Probably not yet. This is brand new, but I do see the future going this direction. As more and more of our information is online, right? People can glean more and more information, from that. So I just thought this would be an interesting one to share. Does anyone on the call, have you ever heard of Crystal Nose? Have you used it before? What are your thoughts of this particular, of this program? So I want to bring up an extension list here of all the different Gmail and Chrome extensions. And I'm going to pop that up. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to pop that back up on the screen so you can see that. And I'm also going to give you a challenge here as well. BombBomb is amazing. Thank you. We're getting some good feedback there. Use BombBomb. It's great. Thanks, Fred and Melanie. Yes, you can select the video, Melanie. You can do that. We can help you with that if it's if you're having a problem with that. So these are the final 10 extensions. As I mentioned, I want to offer here a challenge to you. My opinion is the most powerful extension. It's not just because I work with the company, because I'm brand new to BombBomb. The most powerful extension I just showed you is the BombBomb extension. I'm brand new, as I said, with BombBomb, but I used BombBomb for 4 years before I came onto the team. And I noticed a massive, massive difference in my lead conversion when I went to BombBomb. And that's why I feel it is the best extension there, or the best program, because they didn't have the extension when I was using BombBomb. But it's powerful. And I want to challenge you. I want you to sign up for that free trial. No credit card, by the way. You don't even have to type in a credit card. And when you sign up for that free trial, I want you to send out 5 video emails today. And I want you to send 1 video thanking someone. If you get a lead, follow up, but send out a total of 5 and watch the difference, feel a difference that video is going to make in your communication and the responses. Pay close attention to the responses that you get. Send 1 video email out to someone and say, hey, Bob, I wanted to take the time out of my day to send you a personal video, and start off with that and see what type of response you get from using that extension. Everyone on this call can do it for free. Everyone can do it for free because you have that credit card list free trial. And I want you to do it. I want you to do it right now after this call. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. We're 1 minute shy of our 30-minute mark. I hope you picked up a lot of great ideas on how you can use different extensions and different tools, Chrome tools, in your day-to-day business. And I hope you found it a valuable use of your time this Friday. Go try out BombBomb. Try some of the extensions. Don't try too many, though. Pick out 2 or 3, maybe 4. Dave said he's a longtime BombBomb user. You will love it. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. We appreciate you having you as a client as well. Oh, and I do want to mention for the people that have BombBomb, we rolled out a brand new update to the Gmail extension today. So there were some weird things that were happening here and there. That's fixed today. So it's rolling out today. You should have a pretty clean experience. So let me go back from my screen sharing here and give you guys a personal goodbye. I'll go back on video. And we'll turn off the screen sharing there. So thanks for joining. Ask me any questions. I'm going to flip through the questions box now. Ask me any questions that you have about any of the extensions. Look for the recording of the video. You should get that in a few hours after this webinar, and share it with other people. If there's other people in your office that would be interested in these extensions, share it out. Share it with as many people as you know if you found it a beneficial and valuable use of your time. So I want to thank everybody. Have a great Friday, and I'll start reading through some of these comments and see if there's anything here that I can answer that Dale hasn't already gotten to. So video integrate with Outlook. You can send to people with Outlook, and they can view your videos, but we don't have an integration. We're working on something, though. We're working on it for you. Get a couple of those Outlook questions. All right, any other? Nice question, Craig. That was a good one. So in the BombBomb extension, will tracking records be searchable? Yes, that's on the roadmap for, and maybe Dale can answer this one. It might be the next major update that's coming out, but absolutely. There's going to be a bunch of things you're going to be able to do with this extension. This is version 1, and we have big plans for this extension. All right. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, and you'll get, Nancy, you'll get the recording, so you can check on that. Yeah, definitely give it a try. I figured that was an exclamation point there, Wilson. No problem. HD videos. BombBomb does do HD videos, Michael. When you do it from the app, when you do it from the Gmail extension, when you record, well, let me digress. When you record the videos in the application, you can absolutely upload HD videos, and it will deliver the proper video for the recipient. So if they have a fast connection, it will deliver an HD version. But if they have a slower connection, it will not. Or if they're on a phone, it will not. It'll look to see if they're on cellular or Wi-Fi. For the Gmail extension, it is a lower res video. Because it doesn't go through that same encoding process because it's going out through Gmail. So it is a lower res video for Gmail. And BombBomb can be sent by text, Craig. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks, Nancy. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so it looks like that's it. I want to thank you guys for joining us again. Still have 27 people on the call. Go give BombBomb a try. Use it today. You'll see results by this weekend. Hope you have a great day, everyone. See you.